Welcome to this week's Ask Charlie, back in the garden for part 2 of the Q&A. So I've got 2 YouTube videos. I'm just going to go through the comments quickly and reply to those, and then I've got lots of other questions. So the first one is to the lady who wants to know how to get rid of sweat stains. Sweat is protein based, so you need an enzyme based stain remover to break down the protein. Vinegar can be effective, but an enzyme based stain remover will give best results. So thank you very, very much to the person that has shared that read the question of how to get yellow stains out of your clothes from under your armpits. Love your channel, Charlie. I would appreciate clothing and styling. We will definitely do that, I promise. That is going to be on the cards. And a video on creating a cleaning routine would be very, very helpful. I have got my cleaning schedule, which is basically my cleaning routine. So I'm going to leave that linked down below for you guys. If you need help on the cleaning front, that is a really great place to start. Lots of people saying about clothing and style, so definitely will do that. I'm wearing my birthday dress. I love this dress. I thought it was lovely to put a little bit of colour on this morning, and I'm really pleased that it's not raining and I can sit outside because the weather has been a little bit up and down, but we need rain, so I mustn't complain. Somebody asking about Simon's weight loss journey. Again, I will do that hopefully with Simon if he is going to come on and share what he's done. But he is looking great and it's brilliant. Lots of requests for my podcast, and I need to speak to Theodore and get that up and running again. So we'll just have a little bit of a break and we will be back as soon as possible. Laura has asked how I stay slim. I think, Laura, I'm very active. I am careful what I eat, but I don't deny myself things. I love a bit of chocolate. I love an ice cream. Yesterday I had a delicious scone. In fact, I had a scone and a half with lots of clotted cream and strawberry jam, but I don't do that on a daily basis. I walk a lot with the dogs. I walk a lot with the horses. This morning I've already done the mucking out. And so I'm always on the move. I'm pretty active. I love my workouts as well. And for me, keeping fit and keeping strong is really important. So that is how I stay slim. Somebody has asked what camera I'm using. So I've got an DJI Pocket 3, which I'm currently filming this on, but I also use my iPhone, and this is a 16 Pro Max, and I love it. So I film on the two, depending what I'm filming and how I'm doing it. I find it really useful actually vlogging on my iPhone. I know a lot of creators use cameras, but I find that their focus can be a bit annoying, and I find that like with the Pocket that I'm filming on now, I have to have a microphone, whereas when I'm vlogging on my phone, I don't have to have a microphone. The sound is okay. It would probably be slightly better if it had a microphone. But when I'm doing my Friday vlogs, I want them to be sort of spontaneous and real. And I don't necessarily, if I'm out and about, I'll just vlog. And I've got my phone with me at all times. I'm not necessarily going to put a microphone on and do all of that. So I find vlogging on my phone really easy and handy, and I think the quality and sound is okay. Hopefully you guys are happy with that. A lovely Christina has asked, may I ask how you manage receiving unfair and mean criticism or critics? I think I've talked about this before, and I think for me, unless somebody knows me personally, they're just making an assumption, and I know the truth. My immediate circle of friends know who I am, and so I can take criticism from people that know me well, but from people that are just making assumptions, it's their assumption. So it's not necessarily criticism that is accurate. So therefore, I don't take it to heart. It's taken a long time to get to that place. When I first started vlogging, if somebody said something negative, I really took it to heart. But I've learned that you cannot please everybody. There will be somebody that doesn't like you, doesn't like what you're about, doesn't agree with you, and that's okay. It's their opinion, and I mustn't take it personally. I can definitely, read it, take it on board, and be like, well, that's definitely not true. One example was the article in the Telegraph. Somebody said, oh, well, she definitely only shops in Waitrose, and she definitely married her husband for his money. Neither of those things are true. So I have to laugh it off and be like, well, clearly you don't know me, because that's not the person I am. So that is how I deal with criticism. Somebody's asked about the podcast, and yes, I have my podcast, Busy House, Happy Home, which will be coming back. And I have recorded a number of episodes with Theodore, and I'll leave his podcast link down below. So there's our podcast called Homemade, but it's run through his channel, which is called Canyon Home. So I will leave that link down below for you. So somebody has asked, how are you getting on with your new eating regime? You shared that you struggle a bit and that things got a little out of control with chocolate bars, etc. Have you managed to get back on an even keel, and how did you stick to eating sensibly? I am just trying to get a healthier balance. I'm trying not to snack too much. I am trying not to go to crisps and chocolate and things like that. I'm just trying to eat healthily, eat sensibly, and keep exercising, and that is how I'm managing it. I have done, and this is something that I will share more about if I continue, I have done some juicing, and a friend of mine has lost some weight, is looking great. I complimented her, and she said, oh, 2 days a week I do this, I drink these juices, and I've done it twice. And it definitely has helped, made a difference. So we are about to go away. So when I get back, I might do that. I've got, in an ideal world, I've got a few pounds I would like to lose. Not much, but just a few pounds, particularly around my tummy. And when I put on weight, it goes straight to my chest. And I wouldn't mind trying to get down a cup size. I'm currently an F, and I would love to get down to a double D or E if possible, because I just don't like feeling too busty, and that's the first place it goes, there and my tummy. So I've got a few pounds in an ideal world I'd like to lose, but I'm not beating myself up. I'm just kind of, for me, being happy is far more important, and a few extra pounds here or there. But in an ideal world, I think some of my clothes would fit a little bit better if they weren't pulling across the chest and around my tummy. So I might continue with the juice, but I will keep you posted on that one. And then and she's also asked about vlogging and what camera do I use. So I have shared that with you already. That is all of those questions. Let's jump on to the other video. So I've had a question about how to know when to harvest my potatoes and onions. So Beth, I shared harvesting my potatoes in a vlog a couple of weeks ago. Once they have flowered and once the greenery is beginning to die back, it's time to harvest your potatoes. And onions, you can see, if you go and have a close look, you can see, and again, I harvested my onions in last week's vlog, they're shallots, and I could just see that they were ready. And again, somebody asked me about carrots. Pull one up and see. You can leave them in a little bit longer and they'll grow bigger, or you can pull them up or pull a few up and eat them, and then, pull them as you're ready to go. That's what I do. I start at one end and I work my way down. So it's about having a look and seeing, really. But with the potatoes, once they've flowered, once they've begun to die back, it's time to harvest them. I've just harvested half of mine, and I'll do the rest probably the next couple of days, might even do them tomorrow. Christy has asked, do I still manage the Devon property? Yes, I do still manage the Devon property. And has the move worked out as helpful as you hoped last year? Yes, The move has been brilliant. We definitely did the right thing moving here. And I think you guys can tell I am so much more happy, calmer, settled. It has been a crazy year with a couple of really big, exciting projects in the pipeline. And those opportunities wouldn't have happened if I had been at our old house, because I would have been too busy running the B&B and things like that, and I wasn't in the right headspace. I now am. Things are really falling into place brilliantly. Simon and I are doing really well, and he's in a great place. Lots of you have commented on how well and happy we're both looking, and yes, the move was definitely a great decision, so thank you. Sheila has asked, why do you put the horses in the stable during their day and not just leave them out in a big field? Can you tell I know nothing about horses? That is because of the weather. So if it is really hot and, you know, really hot, and we've had some crazy hot days, you know, 35 plus degrees, they are cooler in their stables. So that's why I bring them in. Or you either bring them in because of the flies, because of the weather. You know, if it's torrential rain, I will bring them in. So it just depends, but it's mainly weather dependent for us, which is why I'll bring them in. How should you use eucalyptus oil? I use eucalyptus oil for cleaning, so I will add it in with a mixture of vinegar and water and some eucalyptus oil, or I will use it when I'm washing the floor or cleaning the bathroom. I just love the smell of it, and it, for me, is like a lovely, clean, fresh smell. Kirsty has asked, how is the horse shopping going? Not brilliantly, to be honest. We had a bit of a disappointment, and so we are still looking. Somebody has suggested clipping the hens' wings so they can't escape. We have done that, and they are still escaping. I think they're getting onto the roof of the coop, onto the tree, and then out. I think that's what they're doing. I don't know, but we will be redoing the chicken coop at some point. Right, those are all of the questions on YouTube. So I have screenshot a whole host of questions, which I am just going to find and answer as best I possibly can for you all. Here is one. I forgot to submit this question for your Q&A, but I've been asking to manage, how do you manage your fatigue that comes with EDS? I very much listen to my body, Alex. I think for me, I'm really sensible on caffeine, so I only have matcha, which is slow release. Hang on, I think I've got a spider. I have got a spider in my dress. So sorry about that. I had an ant crawling around inside my dress. Oh, the dogs are barking. Girls, be quiet! Right, yes, I don't have caffeine apart from matcha, and I only have 2 matchas a day. I have one in the morning and one at about 2 to 3 p.m. That works really well for me. I take Wild Nutrition's magnesium and ashwagandha. Magnesium helps me sleep, and the ashwagandha just has so many benefits. I will leave them linked down below, and you can have a read up. They are brilliant. But I pace myself. If I have a really busy day, I will make sure that the following day I might sit down and close my eyes for 20 minutes. And I have to just listen to my body and do that. There are some days where I feel great. There are other days that I really struggle. And on those days that I'm struggling, I will have a power nap. The fitter I am, the better I cope with it. So that is something to definitely think about. Definitely when I do my workouts, they help me get through the day. They power me through. And I find I have a lot more energy the fitter and stronger I am. So hopefully that helps you too. But remember, everybody with EDS, that's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, has different degrees. So what works for one might not necessarily work for the other, but that is how I've managed it. I don't drink tea or coffee, but I used to drink Diet Coke, which is terrible for you. So really look at your caffeine intake, because you need to have a healthy balance, and also look at how much sugar you're consuming as well, because that isn't helpful. So hopefully that helps you. Let me just check. Right, here we are with the questions. Okay. Please can you tell us how you stay slim and fit? We have talked about that, Joy, but thank you for asking. Any more plans for fun-filled parties in the barn? Yes, there are, Laura, and we have got some party plans up our sleeve. I will keep you posted. Do you still make and sell your famous granola in your local shop? Yes, I do, and I love supplying them. Are you utilising your cellar? Yes, we are. It's a damp space, but it's really good storage. So I've got like vases and china and things down there that it doesn't matter if they get damp. I've also got some storage containers with things like cake tins and things like that. I have an abnormal amount of cake tins because I do a lot of baking and a lot of cookery. So those are in plastic storage tubs. And, the cellar is great for bottles. It's great for wine, but it's not like a dry, safe storage area. But we are definitely utilising it, and it's a great space. What are your must-do daily cleaning tasks to help you keep on top of your home? Putting things away, Jen, is top tip. But I always make sure that the kitchen is clean, that the surfaces are, wiped down. I always make sure that the kitchen is kind of put to bed at night, and I've done everything. So when I come down in the morning, I'm on the front foot. And I keep on top of the laundry so I don't let it pile up and get massive and out of control. Somebody's asked where my brother lives in Austria. He lives in the mountains. He loves the mountains, as I do as well. So he is in the mountains. Favourite easy and quick meal to make? Oh, salad niçoise. So quick, so easy. Tin of tuna. Some boiled egg if you've got boiled egg and have got time to boil some eggs and peel them. Some salad. I put olives in there. Put a whole host of stuff. Absolutely delicious. For the children, it's probably pasta, peas and bacon. That is a quick family favourite. Can be whipped up in under 10 minutes. So that is a great one. What has happened to your horse, Molly? Totally addicted. Absolutely love your vlogs. So inspirational. Thank you, Lynn. Molly has an injury. She's lame and we are investigating it. She has spent some time at the vets having nerve blocks, x-rays, scans, you name it. She's going to go back in when we get back from Guernsey for some keyhole to see exactly what's going on. So unbelievably disappointing, and it's been tough, to be honest. But Molly is here. She's out in the paddock with Tori. They are well, as well as they are in themselves. But she is lame and can't be ridden. So really disappointing for Coco. What's your skincare routine these days? I'll share that in a vlog and share exactly what I'm using. That is a great question. Do you believe in God? Yes, I do believe in God. Please can you explain the difference between Tier 1 and Tier 2 of your members club? Absolutely, I can. Tier 1 is a digital membership. Tier 2, I post the recipes. You get a green folder and I post the recipes to you and send them out. So they're already printed and you can just pop them into your folder and keep them. Tier 1 is just a digital, so you can print them off and put them in your own folder, and that is the difference between the two. What shade of neutral nail polish do you recommend? I think this is called... I'm going to leave it written on the screen. It's Essie Gel Couture, and I think it's called Fairy something, but I will leave it written here on the screen for you because I love it, and I did these about 4 days ago. I think they're still looking pretty good. You've had a few health issues the other year. How are you, and are you fully recovered? Yes, Sarah, thank you. I am, and it was stress related, and now that we are here, the dust has settled, things are going really well. I'm feeling great, and so health issues are behind me, but I make sure that I eat well, I try and get enough sleep, I drink a lot of water, and I try and look after myself, because if I don't look after myself, I'm no good to anyone. So that is what I do. Darling, what happened to Molly? What put her out of action? We don't know what put her out of action. The vets think that it is something that has been rumbling away for a while, and with change of rider. So we bought Molly from the breeder and the lady that produced her. She only has had one home before us. She passed a 5-stage vetting, and the vet has said, you know, this isn't something that has just happened. He thinks that there was something, you know, rumbling away, and maybe doing more work, maybe ridden it in a slightly different way by Coco, whatever it might be, has triggered it to be more of an issue. That is what he thinks, but we don't know exactly. You know, who knows with horses, but you know, she wasn't lame when she arrived. She is now, and it's really sad and disappointing, but she's a wonderful horse, and we are doing our best to get her, you know, sound and comfortable. First time horse buyer here, been leasing, part boarding, nervous, tips. Oh, but goodness, I mean, I don't know where I start with this question. Buying horses is very, very stressful. Leasing is a great option. I think you've just got to ask a lot of questions, always get a vetting. And, you know, we've had a lot of bad luck recently, but in the past we've had some great horses and had some great success. So it's really tricky. But yeah, just ask a lot of questions and do your research. How much do you budget a month for your housekeeping? I am not going to talk figures, but I have a set amount each month, which is for you know, for food, for groceries, for cleaning products, etc., and that is you know, what I have. And I think I'm not going to talk figures because everybody's situation is different, but I think you need to figure out what is a sensible amount for you as a family and what you need, and stick with that. I think that is my best advice. Please, could you tell me more about your equestrian journey? Love, from Paris. Yes, I started riding when I was 4. I got the bug, and I'm 45, and I still love horses. I have ridden all my life because I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. When I was undiagnosed, they didn't know what was the matter with me, and I was told I wasn't allowed to ride, which is when I started riding side saddle. And I rode side saddle from when I was 14 to I don't know, about 8 years ago. Once I found exercise and got really, really fit and really strong, I realised actually that was my secret. If I kept fit and strong, I could ride astride and I didn't have any problems. So I now ride astride most of the time. But yeah, horses have been a big part of my life for as long as I can remember. How did you manage to change into a people's person? Great question. The older I've got, the less I've worried. And I think I was just quite shy and I was quite insecure. And the comfier I have felt in myself, the more I've felt happy to chat to people. And I think if you give people your time and you get to know them, it's a wonderful feeling. And that has made me more open, more chatty, more friendly, and more of a people's person than before. I was very much an introvert, and I suppose I'm an introvert extrovert. You know, sometimes I love being really social and really outgoing, and other times I'm really happy just hidden away with a book or with my sewing or pottering around here in this beautiful garden. So I think through getting a bit more confident, I suppose. And my mother was really outgoing. She was a real people's person. And I was, shy, insecure, underconfident. And the older I've got, the more I have I suppose, relaxed. So that is how. Could you do a depth series on how your home? Could you do an in-depth series in how to make your house into a home? I have got a video which I will link down below where I talk about making a house a home, but yes, I can definitely talk about that again if you would like me to, and let me know in the comments down below if others would like me to talk about making a house a home, because it's something that I am very passionate about. What are your top 5 beauty products that you can't live without? Perfume, lip gloss, moisturiser, eye cream. I use eye cream morning and night, and my Dermatica. Those my Dermatica is my prescription skincare, which I absolutely love. Tips for juggling housework and dogs with a young baby. I struggle to get everything done. Charlotte, do not beat yourself up. It is really hard. But I think make sure that you have a good routine, that you try and batch cook, so that will save you having to cook every day, that you can just pull something out of the freezer. Don't beat yourself up when you've got a young one. I definitely had to let standards slip. It is really hard to juggle it all. And I did this actually when Anton was staying. When he had his lunchtime nap, I would have a little bit of a rest, and then I would blitz doing laundry or cooking or a bit of cleaning until he woke up from his nap. So that is a great way to use your time. What are Archie's plans for next year? He is coming home to do his A-levels, which is very exciting. I love a tidy home, but I just can never seem to keep on top of things. Help! Put things away. The golden rule to home organisation is to put things away. And that way your home will be tidy. Put things away as you go. It's so much easier to manage and run. Trust me, it's really important. Now, I have got some more questions, but I've got a meeting now, so I am going to have a little pause, go and have my meeting, and I will be back with you to answer the last few questions. Well, in fact, there's more than a few questions. There's a few more, but I will do my best to rattle through them. So I will be back with you in probably about an hour. I am back with you after my meeting for the last questions. Charlie, what dog food do you give your girls? We've tried a variety of dog food. We've done raw, we've done all sorts of things. Actually, Lola had quite a lot of skin irritations when she was younger, and she got sort of hot spots that she would scratch. And so we moved her onto a food, which I'm going to leave here on the screen, Snade, the make Snade, and it's Wonder Dog, and it has worked wonderfully for her, and so we actually feed that to all of them. Rose is on the puppy version, and Penny and Florence have that as well. Sometimes I add a little bit of meat in as well, but it works brilliantly for Lola, and we haven't had any skin problems with her since we've been using that. And our vet was talking about her having to, do all sorts of things and go on to medication and what have you because of it, and we've avoided all meds, and she's very happy. So that is why we've stuck with it. Please could you share how to clean vinyl plank floors? I just vacuum and mop. That is how I do them. Really easy. I love mopping, and when I do a deep clean, I actually do it by hand as well. Did you have any other names you were considering for the children? I loved the name Buster. I loved the name Bamba Gascoigne. It's quite a well-known person, and I love the name Bamba. Buster and Bamba. Savannah for a girl, but I didn't like the shortenings. I didn't like Savvy and Sav and things like that, so we didn't go with Savannah, but I think it is a beautiful name in full. I actually really love the name Martha, and I love Mary. Yes, those were a few names that were tossed around. How are you finding the combination washer dryer? Is it a pain to wash and dry? I don't use it as a washer and dryer in one, so I will set it to wash. I will then program it to dry separately, and I think that works better. For example, I have just done a load of towels and bed linen. I've taken the linen out. I've taken some of the towels out, and I dry with a smaller amount, and I just find that will then dry in one cycle. If I have too much in the dryer, it doesn't dry, and I'm having to put it on again and again. So I don't love our washing machine. I think it's a little bit high tech and a little bit complicated, and actually something a little bit more basic would have been great, but Simon chose it and he did his absolute best. It works wonderfully. It's a great machine. I just think it's a little high tech. What do you like most about being a homemaker? Oh, Laura, that's such a difficult question because I love everything about home. I love being out in the garden. I love cooking. I love doing their laundry. When they were babies, and I would go up and I would go and just check on them, like, I don't know, maybe 8 p.m. just to check that they were all sound asleep and happy. And I'd just go into their rooms and they were clean and they had full tummies and their bedrooms were tidy. And I would just breathe a sigh of, oh, I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. So I just like things kind of being ordered, but I like everybody being happy. And for me, I think that's the best aspect about homemaking, is bringing happiness to my family and being able to love and look after them and nurture them in the way that I want to. So that's what I love the most about it. Charlie, I think elegance and etiquette is still important. Would you like to teach that? Yes, Mary Kate Home. I would love to teach that, definitely. And I think it's very important as well. But I think it's sadly becoming a thing of the past. Yes, I think it sadly is becoming a thing of the past. But I always think, like, manners maketh man. I was brought up with that. And I think actually it's so lovely when somebody holds a door open for you and somebody smiles and somebody is dressed elegantly and like dressing nicely for the right occasion, and just being elegant in yourself and your thinking and your way of life, I think, is something that is very important, and great skills to have. How to stay positive and motivated when life feels challenging? Oh, Tor, I totally get it. It's hard. It's really hard. I think you just need to stay like true to yourself. I pray a lot. I go for walks, and I think, I'm going through this season of challenge and stress because there will be other things that come. And, for us last year and a few of the years before were stressful, were difficult, were challenging. And it's about knowing that time will pass and there will be things that come to you. And knowing that, sometimes we're given these challenges and at the time we think, why am I going through this? Why is there another hurdle after another hurdle after another hurdle? And then when things start falling into place, you can look back and you can begin to understand why. And I feel that the challenges I've had in my life, in my past, and there will be many more challenges to come, they shape you into the person that you become. And they have made me stronger. They've made me more empathetic. They've made me have more understanding. They've maybe made me have more kindness and compassion. And for me, having those skills is really important. And the down times, the difficult times, the challenges in life have taught me so many things. And I draw positive things from those negative experiences. Hopefully that makes sense. And I'm sorry if you are finding life challenging and a struggle right now, but know that there are better times to come, and keep as positive as you possibly can. And remember, smile and say something positive and nice to somebody else, because it will brighten up their day, and in turn it will brighten up your day. Remember, in life, what comes around goes around, and I think that is a very important thing to remember, and I try to remember it as often as possible. Rosie staring around the garden being an absolute hooligan. Things like that make me happy and give me a reason why. That's a really great question. No, down. Right. Charlie, with children in teenage clothes, what do you hang and what do you fold? It depends on the space that you've got. So, maybe trousers, jackets, things like that. Well, actually, it depends. It depends on the space that you have and whatever works for you. Archie has got more folding space in his shepherd's hut than hanging space, but for him, he has a suit that is hung up, and he's got a couple of, like a blazer and a jacket. Those are hung up, but his everyday trousers are folded, and his t-shirts, shirts and jumpers, those are all folded. But Coca has more hanging space, so those are hung, and Gus has a mixture of both. So it depends, totally. What camera do you use to vlog on? We have talked about that. I think that is it, guys. We have got to the end of the questions. I'm sorry if I've missed any questions. I tried. It's difficult when they come in different places, so I've tried to kind of screenshot them so I haven't forgotten them. But I'm sorry if I have forgotten your question. But thank you so much for asking your questions. Thank you for joining me on part 2 of this week's Q&A. I look forward to seeing you, I hope, on Friday with a new vlog. And again, just a huge thanks to getting me to 15,000. You guys are awesome. And a huge thank you from us crazy dogs running around like a lunatic. I think I better go and take her for a little walk. She's got some energy to burn off. Anyway, thank you for tuning in and much love. I will see you again soon.